Welcome, friends, to Tanked Up, the podcast all about video games and beer. I'm one of your hosts, Ben. It's episode 387, and I'm here with Lucy. Hi.
Thank you. You'll keep the show on the road today.
How long? I know the last episode is going up later this week. How long was the last episode? Because we're here with Aadil as well.
I wouldn't
It was a
even know
normal
how long.
time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think it was like hour and a half.
All right.
Yeah, something like that. Too long.
Something like that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Nice. It's not the
I mean,
not
full
the.
of tangents and weird things, but it was
Yes.
a normal one.
It's not the unreleased like 3.5 hour coffee episode.
No. I don't even know if I still have those files. I think they
Yeah.
themselves.
Just expired. They're like, no, these are too big. We just delete them after like 30 days. They're gone. Nice. Let's jump into some beers. We're going to record maybe a little bit longer this evening, and perhaps, hopefully, get through into a 2-beer podcast. Lucy, I know you and I have cracked our beers already. You a little bit earlier. What are you drinking currently? What's the first beer that you've opened up?
I'm drinking a beer from Track, and this is their Birthday Double Dry Hot DIPA.
Nice.
Does it say which birthday? Part of our 2023 birthday collection to celebrate turning 9. Wow, they're 9. And it's got Citrus Cryo, Citrus Spectrum, Citra T90, Nelson Sauvin, and Moutere, Moutere, which is a new one to me.
Yeah, I've not heard of that.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't believe they're 9. That's nuts. But it makes sense. Yeah. I need to go visit them again. I visited them I went to Manchester 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But then they were just like a little tiny little wee bit under Cloudwater. And now they've got a proper tap room. So yeah, I love Manchester anyway, so
Well, that'd be good. Just a little weekend. Just a little weekend up there. When United.
Maybe I should just go live there again.
I was going to say when United are playing a little bit better.
Oh, screw that.
We should do a weekend.
Only if I can throw rocks at the team or whatever.
I just boo them constantly.
Run! Yeah.
Stop being lazy, motherfuckers. Good. Aadil, what are you going to crack into?
I've got a special one today. It's based. My buddy Joel recommended it. And so there is. Have you heard of an Urbock?
No.
That's a Pokemon.
So,
one.
So in Germany there are certain types of beers you only get in certain places,
Right.
regions, right? And this is the Bangers Spezialitat Urbock. The Schlenkerla, the historic smoked beer brewery. Schlenkerla Urbock is it's a rock beer Urbock. Is the complex sibling of the classic Marzen smoke beer. Exactly like the classic, all its barley malts are kilned and smoked by burning beechwood logs in historical Schlenkerla fire maltings. Its higher smoke malt concentration and longer maturation in the 14th century beer cellars underneath Bamberg. On the 14th century beer cellars underneath Bamberg create a taste profile of most intense smokiness, beautifully balanced with deep malt sweetness. As one of the last traditionally made smoked beers, it's a passenger in the arc of taste by slow food. I don't know. There was some trademarks in that last sentence.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was going to write down the name and stuff for the. Please send it to me. Yes, I'm not going to just guess at that.
It's clearly traditional. It's got the very
Yes.
old school Germanic scripty. This could be on a scroll. The Indiana Jones knockoff on the Life Network.
What was that game you played, Lucy? All about language and text and.
Oh, Chance of Senar.
No, sorry, the other one, the Xbox published one.
Panettone, right?
Pentiment?
Pentiment, yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yes. That makes a lot more sense now what you're thinking about. Yeah.
Good. Cool. I am drinking 2 Arbors this evening, so I've got 2 big beers, which is why I've already cracked
Yeah, like some
open. I think I cracked it, and I don't think I have actually supped any of it yet. But the first beer for me is Panettone, which they call a festive pale ale. It is 5.2%. A little bit of flavour text. Our take on a festive ale, brewed with raisins, lemon, and clementine zest, and finished with a little vanilla. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking this evening first. We'll roll all the way back round to you, Lucy. We won't get first impressions as such because you've been sipping it for a little while. But what do you think so far?
Very good.
Good.
If I don't say so myself. Really. Not heavy, but it's got a big, substantial body. There's some heft behind it, so it's like, yeah, I'm drinking a big boy beer. Did I say what the percentage was? It was 8%.
Nice.
And yeah, tons of like tropical flavour, just so fruity. Like getting mango, maybe a bit of pineapple as well. Just a wonderfully rounded, fruity end to it as well. It's probably more sweet than it is bitter, but not overly sweet, obviously. Nice bit of pininess in it, just to, it pairs well with that sweetness. It's just another good Track beer. It's very good. They have a few birthday beers. I don't know what kind of like spectrum they're on, like what the difference is. I'm guessing this might be like, okay, we just pack this one in with a truck ton of Citra. Maybe the other ones are like specialised in like other hops or something like that. But I don't know. This is really good. I think I have another one downstairs.
Okay.
There was no point in me drinking 2 Track beers on the same podcast, but so I was like, especially when they were both like differs, even though my other beer isn't that much less strong than this one. But yeah, I think it was free in the shop, free birthday beers. So
Okay.
don't know how many they've done. Maybe they've done 9 for turning 9, but that would seem a bit overkill.
Seems a lot.
But yeah, but this is great. Just what you want from Track, like a really fruit forward beer, but like it's got that balance to it. Slight bit of bitterness, lots of pininess. Very good, very good. I'm
Good.
really enjoying this.
Good. We'll return to it for later thoughts towards the end of the beer. And Aadil, we'll come to you for initial thoughts on your beer.
Yeah, I poured with a little bit of head, but it's all sort of abated. It's got, but you can see nice clinging of that head. Legs on it. I didn't tell you. It's 6.5%.
Cool.
Boy, does it smell like a campfire. Oh, that's fucking curious. This reminds me of like nosing an Isla beer, right? With that just like a Lagavulin or like a Freud or something like that. Just that like peaty, fiery. Ooh.
Yeah, it is the season for it. It is the season.
I mean, it looks like Coca-Cola as well, doesn't it? With the colour of it, sort of.
Oh yeah, it's got the reddy orange. You can just see in the glint, the light.
Just the lightness around the edge, yeah.
No, I didn't make Thai green curry for dinner. Don't my taste buds there. Oh yeah. Sorry, there's like a little drop of it that was like in my mouth, and I just like reapplied it to my tongue, and it was like, oh, smoke.
Is that sort of the dominating flavour to it?
It's malty. What I like about it is the smoke's coming sort of in the finish, so it has this nice full-bodied maltiness. So like not too sweet or biscuity, just like a nice. I think they said barley malts. That makes sense to me. So it tastes like a solid sort of classic Germanic, malty dark beer. And then as soon as that recedes, as you enter the finish, you're like, oh, smoke.
Sure.
Again, just like that, in the same way that like those whiskeys I mentioned have this like smoky sweetness to it. this is that. It's not overpowering. But it's complex. It's not. It's yeah. It's not like, oh my god, smoke. Like a Lefroy. Some people have described as like being punched in the face by a campfire or something like that, right? This isn't that. This is like, oh, it's strong. It's there. It's not super strong, but it's very much the main part of the finish. But yeah, I'm still tasting the beery parts, and they're working really well together.
Good.
I think they said, yeah, the most intense smoking is beautifully balanced with deep malt sweetness. I think that's exactly what this finish is. It's this balance of the malty sweetness with the smokiness. You take it, turns a bit. It's almost like once the main taste is gone, you're like, ah, smoke. And then there's this moment, and then that sort of fades, and you're like, ah, right, there's the beer finish. And then when that fades again, there's just lingering smoke. So if you just wanted the smoke, you could drink this very slowly.
Sure.
We will see if I do that.
Yes. We'll see how quickly we get through these to roll into second beers. Before we do, the Panettone from Arbor. It's lovely. It's a lovely beer. Does it taste like Panettone? Ish. It's quite sweet. It does have a, I suppose, more slightly sweeter malt base to it. It's only got barley in as the malt, so this suggests, or I suppose, is that just allergens? Maybe just as contains barley, whereas my second beer has barley and wheat in as allergens. But on the nose, it's and you can see it's quite a brown sort of beer, almost a little bronzy, no head to it whatsoever. That carbonation in there just disappeared really quickly. But the nose got sorry.
It almost looks like a hot cider, like
almost, almost. And a lot of, I know it says a clementine zest, but getting that nose to it, getting a little bit of clementine on there, and a touch of vanilla as well in the nose, that makes it, it's meant to be a festive beer, but that is kind of like the smell of Christmas almost, isn't it? Sort of clementine and vanilla. Maybe if there was a little bit of clove in there as well, you'd be like, cool, we've hit the three main things. Right. Frankincense, gold and myrrh. It's all there for taste profile. But it's got a lovely little nose. It's not big. It doesn't jump out at you. I didn't get anything when I cracked the tin. It was only when I put my nose into the glass. But flavour-wise, you do get all of that. You get a little bit of the clementine, you get a little sweetness. The vanilla comes in quite quickly. They say a little vanilla, but actually the vanilla is a big part of this flavour. It's not overpowering, which is great. But the interesting thing is the raisins in this. And I think if they hadn't had any flavour text, I don't know whether I would have picked out that it was raisin, but I can very much tell that towards the end of this beer, there is that raisin there. And it's a little sweet. It starts to dry out. That's when the sort of the dryness of this beer kicks in, when that raisin flavour appears, and your palate just goes so dry with this, not sticky and not chewy, but it's medium kind of bodied. But I think it feels a bit stickier than it is because of that raisin flavour, and my brain just being like, oh, this is kind of a bit chewy, isn't it? It's dried right out. It's raisins. It's a little bit kind of, which is fine. But it's wanting me to go back into it. So not necessarily for the flavour, but again, it's one of those beers that it wants me to go back into it because it's maybe just a bit too dry. And the finish on this is just kind of pushing me to think I need to refresh and just wet my palate just a little bit, rather than going back in for the initial, maybe sort of more citrus kind of start to it, I would say. But good so far. I'm
excited that all the Christmas beers are coming on the shelves now.
Have you picked any?
I hate like cinnamon and raisin and all that in like most things. But I'm willing to give it a try. Yeah, I think I picked up some an Munson one.
Okay.
A few weeks ago. I don't know where that is. Unless I drank it in a drunken state. I think it's somewhere around the house.
That's a dessert beer, it's fine.
Yeah. So But yeah, I saw a Krampus beer.
Oh, you had the Brew York beer last week. Not last week. Sorry, the previous week.
They've been around for a while.
The Dreams of and all of those three beers. Haven't they? They've been around for a bit.
They're doing Christmas like every other capitalist regime, where it starts in September. So, yeah, I've had some of those and gone back and picked some more up and had those. So it's like they've been out for several weeks. But yeah, I don't care for Christmas that much, but it's nice seeing like seasonal beers like more prominent, you know, because seasonal beers come out all the time, but they're not really front and center and on the shelves, you know. So yeah,
nice.
Fun times.
Good.
Plus, if there's any time to gorge, Christmas, isn't it?
New Bristol have started releasing their kind of ramp up their Christmas stouts, their collaboration beers that they start to do, and there was a chocolate orange one they've made with Unbarred, which I think came out this week, which I'm like, ooh, that's kind of the one. That's the one I need to search out for. Just put it in my stash, ready for that kind of week long no work sit and just let children climb all over me and hit me with their new toys while I drink ridiculous stouts for a week. Yes. Let us move on from beers and talk about toys, I suppose, and talk about some video games that
they are for children.
Absolutely. I'm gonna launch off with a game, not maybe what you would expect me to launch off with, considering my latest purchase, but I've been playing the Invincible.
I really want to hear about this.
Is a classic news game, as everyone who's listened to us for years will be happy to know. It is a narrative exploration walking sim game, ultimately. No, a narrative exploration. What did I say? Yeah, I did say that. I don't know what the fuck my brain's doing this evening.
I was going to be like, I have no idea what you said.
Yes. So yes, The Invincible. It's based on a novel which I don't know. I didn't know the author, but it, I would assume, is a novel written sort of maybe mid-century. It's got a lot of sort of 60s and 70s aesthetic to it, in terms of sort of the colour palettes, the type of equipment that the characters kind of have. But essentially you are a character walking around a planet, trying to uncover the story of why you're there and what has happened to the rest of the crew of your spaceship. And it is both written and voice acted very, very well. It's probably some of the best voice acting I've listened to this year, I would say.
Oh,
wow. The main character is just voiced just incredibly well. Lots of expression. It's just done in a very considered way, I would say. And it isn't, I don't know whether it's any big names. It's not kind of like a voice that or any voices that I sort of recognise.
It's not Troy Baker.
It's not Troy. Well, it might be Troy Baker. Every single character. But again, there's such a limited cast of characters. There's only, I think, 5 or 6 members of your sort of space expedition. There are other characters, I believe. I think I'm right at the end of the game. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I made a choice where I'd done kind of everything that I had to do on planet, and then it gave me a choice: either stay and explore some more and find out what the fuck is going on, or hightail it off the planet. Shit's gone down, stuff has gone wrong, just get out of there. And I'm like, nah, I'm staying. I want to know that little bit more. Like the narrative is engaging enough that it pulled me in to be like, no, I'm cool. I've got another 1 or 2 hours I can spend or want to spend with this. Not even I haven't yet, but I want to spend with this.
That's what they should have done with Alien Isolation. Be like, do you want to spend another 12 hours doing this, or do you just want to be like, bye? And they should have just let you do the bye.
Absolutely, yes.
All the hardcore people to stay on the ship and shoot some alien eggs.
Very much. I think that's every space game, right? If Callisto Protocol had said 5 hours in, here's an escape pod, you can just leave now, I'd be like, yes, thank you, goodbye. That's my ending. I'm happy with that. But yeah, the Invincible is just it's pulled me right in, basically. And I like the story. I like the cast of characters, and I wanted to stay with it and explore that a little bit more. It helps massively that it is a beautiful game.
Yeah.
Visually it's stunning. The tone, the color palette just works very, very well. And whilst the planet's kind of surface, moves between greys to sort of reddy browns and oranges, and lots of different sort of colors on that spectrum, sort of in between. As many colors that kind of rocks can have. The sky, the way that the other planets are set off in kind of the background, the way that the light casts upon this game, it just works and is lovely. It looks, it's like a visual feast. Every single thing that I'm moving through, I'm like, this just looks really, really nice. Even when you go like underground, there's other stuff within the environment that kind of, like light reflects off of, or there's other stuff happening, which just looks really, really good. And I'm very surprised, because I thought with the aesthetic that my machine might chug a little bit, but I haven't had any issue at all with it.
It's one of the best things about a news game, right, is most of the stuff is not going to be that interactable, so it doesn't have to be modeled, so it just has to have been rendered a pretty thing.
Yes. And interestingly, one thing I did find was at a point in the game, you have multiple paths essentially to get to the same point, right? That this is you're at point A, you've got to get to point B. This is where the narrative happens, but there's maybe 2 or 3 paths that you could take, and each of those paths might have something that will give a little bit of dialogue between your character and the person she's talking to on the radio, and each of those will be different dependent on the path that you go down. But it doesn't stop you from backtracking. So when I was like, I've gone down this path, I wonder what is down that other path. Is there something else that I could have seen? So I've walked back down the other path, and interestingly, on a couple of the very low, close to the ground sets of, one shape which is like 4 or 5 rocks, just didn't have a back to it. I'm like, oh, I can, they clearly have not expected people to walk back down this path. So I can just see through the back of the rocks. So it's the only thing I have seen so far which is like not a complete asset, I would say, or something which is a little bit kind of like, seeing through the veil of kind of what a game is as such. But that's it. That's the only thing so far. Everything else is just made so well. It's kind of a game as well which doesn't signpost stuff too much. So you're walking through an environment or walking around a set of spaces. I'm like, can I interact with this? No, I can't. Can I interact with this? No, I can't. Can I interact with this? I want to interact with this. No, I can't. Oh, but I can interact with that in the other room just because I've been exploring and walking around and the prompt has kind of come up. Like, it doesn't signpost the interactable kind of elements. You could play through this game in like 4 hours probably and just miss a bunch of stuff and not have all of those extra narrative elements to this that kind of flesh out the universe, that flesh out the characters. You could just hotfoot through this in a few hours, do the main story, never have any of those additional kind of interactions, and I think still have a satisfying time with this.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Did you buy it, or is
No, we got a code.
We got a code.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Not on Game Pass anymore, right? Wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know if it came on Game Pass. It's a game I've had my eye on since like a trailer last year, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as I got the email saying codes are up, I'm like, yes, I will have one. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard pretty much what you've said, Ben, about the game. That I think people may be expecting a bit more from it, like mechanically. But I think when people get over that, they say it's a very good walking simulator. And yeah, just the vibes and the aesthetic goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Into like making it a complete package. So, yeah.
I think it's,
That's good that the voice acting is good because,
Mm.
like, when I think of something like Firewatch, like, even the story, well, the ending and the whole, sub narrative that was, I mean, the main narrative really was the relationship between Henry and Delilah, but
Yes.
like the sub narrative was like that didn't pay off, and that was more confusing than anything else. But elevating that narrative was the voice acting. So yeah, no, I'm gonna have to check this out then.
I need to pick it up actually because Epic's got their Black Friday coupon for 33% off of
have they?
purchases.
Ooh.
And the Steam sales on.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if Steam has it on sale, but it's 25 quid game.
Okay.
That's like not unreasonable to take 2/3 of that and give it to a developer. That's
Absolutely. You picked that up for like 15 quid. Yeah, definitely. £25 I don't think is a high price point for this. If maybe you play through and you check out at that early stage, you might think to yourself, "Ooh, that might, maybe there should be a bit more to this." But the game allows you, and I don't know whether actually, the game might not allow you to check out early. There was an option to check out early. I don't know whether the game allows you to actually do that. Had I have chosen that, and it might have just narratively gone, "Oh no, you can't because there's like a sandstorm or some shit, and you can't actually get our planet, so you have to." Yeah, exactly. Whether it's that full sense of choice, which it's a narrative game. The hits are going to be there. I don't think it's not a diverging path or anything like that. It is just you will experience that you hit point A. This is what you experience. You hit point B. This is what you experience. You don't hit it, at least from my understanding, you don't hit something different at point C if you've gone and looped around the second path or something like that. So you're going to experience, and everyone's going to experience the same sort of story. You just get a little bit more contextual, environmental kind of dialogue and explanation and narrative the more you explore, basically. And as I say, the kind of the world grabbed me enough, and I love that. I love a sci-fi game, especially kind of these like sci-fi games written in or sci-fi stories written in the sort of the 30s and 40s, which are like science, and just it's like a man with a rocket pack. You're like, oh my god, it's the future, and it's like 4,000 years into the future, and we've only just like made food out of a pill or something. You're like, no, that just happened like 80 years later, don't you know? I love that idea of like stuff like that seems so far flung into the future that no, we've just got that shit now, but it's in this game or in this narrative and in this story seems so out there and crazy. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's I've got so much work on. Every time I sit at the PC, I'm like, I could I'll just do some more work. So yeah. But I would recommend this to anyone who likes a narrative exploration walking simulator game. It very much reminds me of what's the fucking Chinese room one? The name has escaped me suddenly. With the powers at the end of the game, and that one where basically everyone's gone to the Rapture. Thank you, Lucy. Yes. Where you're walking through this like desolate, empty world, but it just provides so much story to you. It's just constantly giving narrative and exposition to you all the time, which is great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
On Epic Games Store, Deliver Us Mars. Which is very quite similar in aesthetic, is free currently. So
nice.
next week, so yeah, maybe if you hanker in for more of that, play that. Because
Nice.
I think I kickstarted the first game in that series.
Is that Deliver the Moon? Deliver Us the Moon?
Yeah. I never finished it.
That was good.
Surprise. Didn't finish a game. Oh.
I'm judging you, me specifically.
Oh no!
I mean, they all-
Aadil's judging me. It's all over.
Did you finish Tacoma?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and
was decent.
it was, and again, something like maybe a bit more interactive, something like Adrift as well. Like I love these kind of like space, like disaster kind of games. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was only on PlayStation. And did it come to Steam now?
What, Adrift? Really?
Mm.
Adrift.
Yeah, because I was waiting for Xbox, and he was making an Xbox version, and he never did.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's on Steam. Adrift.
It's got to be on Steam, surely. But I think you're right in that. I mean, it was on PlayStation. I'm pretty sure I played that as like a free PlayStation Plus game when it, a year or so after it had actually come out, kind of thing.
It's not coming up on Steam.
Is it? It's got a 1 in it.
Right, it's got a 1 in it. That's why. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Adrift 1.
Oh,
it's
Adrift 1
$2.99.
is 80% off on Steam right now.
Nice. It's a really good game. That's a really good game.
Yeah, it's got Put it on.
Oh, I own it. Wait, when did I get this game?
Probably in a bundle, mate. Bumble. Been around for a while.
Mixed reviews.
2017.
You'll find you've got all of these. You've got like the space exploration narrative bundle or something.
It's because it's a VR game as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's a lot of the.
It was one of the first this is a legitimate reason to own a VR set. So when I bought a VR set, I bought the game.
Nice.
Boy, did I never play it. But
lots of oxygen management and stuff in Adrift when you're outside. It doesn't. I mean, it's not that much management as such. It's like find the gas canister and miraculously change it over whilst you're floating through space. Game. But it's cool. Good. Loads of space games. As we mentioned, Alien Isolation as well. I don't know how spacey it is, but Alien Fireteam Elite, maybe that's the name of it. The third-person shootery game that came out last year was free on PlayStation Plus this month as well. So loads of space games about for people to play.
Well, also, so because of the Black Friday pre-Christmas sales, I found out about games I didn't even know existed. Like, I forgot that new Terminator came out in 2019. New, or I think it was 2019. The Terminator prequel to the you play. Did you know this game?
I mean, maybe in 2019, but then it just left my brain.
Resistance, Terminator Resistance. It came out in 2019 of FPS, and it was during the Future War.
Oh. Wait, is there a film called Resistance?
No.
Okay.
What was the one with
Terminator is
Christian Bale called?
Wait, what?
Oh.
The one with Christian Bale.
Oh, that film was Genesis.
Yes.
Wasn't it? Or was that Salvation?
Salvation, yeah.
That was Salvation. Genesis is the one with
that was with Barney, wasn't it?
Terminator's got so convoluted.
No, it's really simple. There's Terminator 1, and then there's Terminator 2.
I was about to say, it's very simple. Most of them are bad. The rest are very good.
What's the most recent one called?
Sorry?
There's a recent one?
What's the most recent Terminator film called? Where they brought
Future.
Dark
Fate.
Dark Fate, yes. Where they brought back Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The idea that John actually was killed by a Terminator. Yeah, they're hanging out in Mexico or on a beach somewhere, and an Arnie model Terminator T1000 just turns up. No, he's not T1000.
T800.
Yes, he turns up and just blasts young John Connor and fucks the future up, or at least the predetermined future that was going to happen that they decided couldn't happen. It actually didn't happen. That then spawned off basically the first and second, a combination first and second film, basically into a new film, which was okay. It was all right.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to spin things.
But So there was the. I'm familiar with Alien games. I forgot the Terminator one. The RoboCop one came out, which I'm very keen on because it looks very dumb.
Yes.
Did you know that there's a Starship Troopers game?
Yes. Was that last year?
Yeah, it's relatively new.
2 games. I think there's a tactics one and a like Call of Duty shooter one.
So the co-op first-person shooter,
Right.
is an early access on Epic.
Yeah. Yes. That one is one that we could have asked for code for, but is very much a one of those like online co-op kind of games.
Yeah, just like the new Transformers game is like weird software as a service, live service, whatever you want to call it, thing. Or just this one missed me. I just all of the franchises that like
it pops up on sale a lot. It pops up on sale a lot, and then I know that because it's on my wish list, and then I was like, I really need to watch Starship Troopers again because I love that film, and then I did like a few weeks ago. It's just fantastic.
Just for the shower scene. That's the only reason to watch that film.
Oh.
I mean, no.
Harris slowly degenerate himself into this caricature of Nazi scientists.
It's so good. It's such a good film. I absolutely love it. I just
I've
can't
not seen
believe
it for
people thought it
years.
wasn't satire. Oh, it's excellent. Like, I watched that. I've watched that film many times.
Is it Carrie Yules?
Elves? No.
Oh, whatever. I mean, maybe I'm.
You mean the guy, Princess Bride?
Guy from Princess Bride, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not him.
Is it not?
You're talking about the main character?
Yeah.
No, it's a guy who didn't have much.
Yeah, it's a guy. The guy.
Yes, I mean, Carrie Yules is a guy.
No, it's Casper Van Dien is the main character.
Okay.
And Casper Van Dien is known for being the Starship Troopers guy? Question mark.
Yeah, I don't think he did anything else. Oh, what a film! It's so good. You need to watch it again, Ben.
I will. All right. Okay.
Get
I will find it. I will find it somewhere.
Just so good.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't realize this. So he did return in 2008 to reprise his role as Rico. In Starship Troopers 3 Marauder.
Not seen that.
Well, you shouldn't. You shouldn't see any of them because then they're not Verhoeven films. They're just nonsense. So the Starship Troopers sequels are not satire, right?
I've never seen them.
Right.
I've never even seen 2. Yeah.
They're like, this was a serious film. Here is a serious sequel.
People liked it because it was nudity,
but it was good action. But but it's hilarious as well. It's good. It's really good shooty. But
was it again? I'm probably misremembering this. Is it the same woman from Fast and Furious?
No.
Who's the woman in it?
Wait, which woman?
She was a model, wasn't she?
Which woman? Yeah, exactly.
I think she was in Friends for like one episode or something.
Denise Richards was.
Oh yeah, Denise Richards. Yes.
Yeah, so she was a Bond girl. She was something Christmas and. The one after GoldenEye. Christmas Jones. She was the nuclear physicist.
Which one was the one after GoldenEye? No.
No.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Tomorrow Never Dies. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Jones, the world is not enough.
The world is not enough.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe World's Not Enough is after.
I think Tomorrow Never Dies is a Brosnan one, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it was GoldenEye, World Is Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies, but I might be wrong.
Those are probably the only times I actually watch James Bond. Because a lot of them are well before my time.
Mate.
Oh, yeah, I was wrong.
Okay.
It's GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough. So it's the third Brosnan film.
Like, I'm thinking of, like, Michelle Rodriguez.
I know you are.
Like, Michelle Rodriguez and Carrie Yules are clearly the main actors in Starship Troopers. I don't know what fucking film I'm thinking of that's got both of those people in, but it ain't fucking Starship Troopers, is it?
Like, in the same space-time together.
Absolutely not.
You can
No,
make a
no,
case
absolutely
that
not.
one is the other person. That's how they're just like Superman and Clark Kent. I think they're that separate.
Yeah, very
They
much, very
technically
much,
be
yeah.
the same person. That's how separate they are.
There's a
Oh,
guy
dear.
from Shawshank in it. The guard. Who's
In
soldier.
Starship
Anyway,
Troopers?
yeah. This really doesn't matter.
Michael
Starship
Ironside.
Troopers is a good.
Yeah,
What was his
Ironside,
name?
right?
Yeah.
He's in it, but
He's
what,
in it.
is
Isn't
he
that a
in?
Transformer?
Is Ironside in thingy?
Who knows? I have no idea.
In what's thingy?
The movie what movie did you
Shawshank.
say? Shawshank. I don't think he's in Shawshank.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Oh no, not him. Other guy.
Guy number
Let
3.
me go. Shawshank plus Starship Troopers.
I enjoy that Starship Troopers actors. We have no idea who the fuck they are. Like,
Oh.
Well, Ironside.
Oh yes,
Michael
yes,
Ironside's been in
Clancy
fucking loads
Brown.
of stuff.
Oh, Clancy Brown.
Yes, Clancy
Clancy
Brown.
Brown's in Starship Troopers?
Yeah,
Who's he in? Oh, he's Sergeant. Oh, right, the
Mhm.
training guy.
yeah, who like
Clancy
breaks
Brown's
somebody's
great.
arm. Yeah, yeah, he
Oh,
is.
that's
yeah.
weird. Sorry.
Oh, she looks old now.
Oh, he's real old now.
I mean,
he,
when did Starship Troopers come out?
97.
Jeez.
Very good.
Jesus. 25
Very
years ago, mate.
Weirdly,
No, it's not. Don't lie. Jurassic
yeah.
Park's like 30 years old next year, and I'm just like, holy Christ.
No, that's
I
not
mean,
good.
but it doesn't even. It seems like it's older than 30 years, but just saying it though, it's like,
Yeah, that's
oh
true.
god.
Sam Neill
Because it's
fucking
like-
fills those 30 years, man. That's...
Clancy Brown was the main antagonist in the Highlander movie.
Oh.
He's the
Right.
Kurgan.
Yeah.
But weirdly, Highlander 2, The Quickening, that is like a fucked up reboot that they've ignore all of the lore and make it all a sci-fi movie with interdimensional travel and flying skateboards. The main bad guy is Michael Ironside. How weird is that?
Good, nice. I'm glad they were all around at the same time. Brilliant, brilliant. Well, I enjoy this. I enjoyed this tangent very much. Is anyone ready for another beer?
Oh, I'm not ready for another beer. My beer has been quite hearty. I just finished pouring it out.
Oh, really?
I'm ready.
Okay,
I
cool.
finished mine.
Go on then,
Oh.
Lucy. Go on then, Lucy.
Oh well, understandable. I don't like yours is smoky.
Mm-hmm.
It do take a while to.
Yeah, I might save this one
go
for next
back.
time. We'll see.
Okay. Speaking of, well, it's not a Christmas thing, but it's a yearly tradition they have. Probably around, I think it is in November that they do it every year. Siren have got their chocolate cake
Ah,
beers
yes.
out. I picked up two. Well, they're both Caribbean chocolate cake. This one's a nitro. The other one is like a. Gosh, I don't even know what it is, but it's like. I think that's a tropical. Well, this is a tropical stout as well. I think that's just like lower percentage or something like that. But anyway, this is the Nitro Caribbean Chocolate Cake. It is a tropical stout with cacao and cypress wood. Where's the 7.4%. The Heart of the Caribbean Chocolate Cake series, our favourite stout, originally brewed in collaboration with Cigar City Brewing, showcases hand-roasted cacao nibs harmonised by cypress wood spirals.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's 4. Each
4?
Yeah.
Ooh. Because
I
they,
reviewed them,
yeah.
like, I think it was like 2 years ago now, maybe 3.
I was going to say, I remember this from several years ago. I remember walking into the beer emporium here in Bristol, and they had a tiny little keg of it on the back of the bar. I'm like, yep, this is all we've got. You know, this is what we've been given from Siren. It's like a special release. This, I mean, we're going back like 5 or 6 years probably now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they've been doing it a while, but this smells amazing. But yeah, the year that they actually sent me some to review.
Oh
was nice of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I think the Nitro was my favourite.
Mm.
Just because it was so smooth and easy. So let's see what this one is like.
Nice.
Let's hope it lives up to those hazy memories, hazy halcyon days.
just
Everything before
the
a week
Starship
ago
Troopers
hazy.
is for me. I think it's yeah, absolutely. Good. Let's get that poured. I will open up the another beer from Arbor, as I mentioned earlier. This is the Porter Express. It's a Baltic porter. It is 7%, and the flavour text is cold fermented Baltic porter with flavours of dark fruits and molasses and a crisp finish. It doesn't give me a huge amount, which is absolutely fine, but it's definitely dark beer season, so very, very ready to just drink porters and stouts essentially for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And I will pour this, Lucy. We'll come back to you, Aadil. We'll come to you for your second beer, like in 15 minutes or something like that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's poured a lovely, just like Guinness out of the tap, like
Just super smooth.
slightly brown. Yeah, slightly brown head. It just looks beautiful. Like it's just being sat there. It's not moving. It's not going anywhere. Like a proper nitro pour, the best one that you can, just crack in a can somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells delightful. Yeah, it's got that woodiness from the cypress wood, malty. Ooh, like honeycomb
Ooh.
smell. Smells good.
Because the chocolate cake one's kind of been a bit like, some of them have been a bit fruity, I seem to remember. Some of them are kind of like edging more towards just like a chocolatey kind of stout.
Oh god. It'll take everything in my being not just to knock this back in one. Because it's been sat out for a while, so it's the perfect temperature as well. And it's just so smooth. This is what I've never been to Ireland or Nigeria, but I'm guessing this is what it's probably like, having like a Guinness like straight from the factory. It's just so smooth. Oh god, yeah.
Nice.
And it's packed full of that chocolate, but it's not like sickly, cloying sweetness. It's got like, I wouldn't say dark chocolate. It is definitely straying into like more of that milk chocolate. It's not too bitter.
Okay.
I'd say it straddles somewhere between milk and dark. Got that sweetness from the milk chocolate and a slight bit of bitterness from the dark chocolate, but it's just so easy. It's like, as I say, it's not some other beers where it's like, okay, it's not a heavy stout, it's only 7.4%, but sometimes you get that, it's all of that chocolate, and it's like, it's a bit too much. This is it feels reserved, but also very, very chocolatey. Like sometimes it's hard to get across that chocolate. Sometimes brewers go all the way into it, sometimes they don't do it enough. This feels like the perfect balance of chocolate, where it still tastes like a beer, it's not overly sweet, but you are picking up more than just a simple, wishy-washy kind of light chocolate. I mean, it says tropical stout. I guess it's got like a bit of cinnamon, bit of raisin. But it's I think it's the chocolate that you're getting more. With the cacao nibs and just like, but there is something pairing it back. I don't know if that is just like a little bit of fruit on the palate as well, but that is really good. I mean, I actually don't really like Caribbean chocolate cake, despite being
Despite or
Caribbean.
because?
I like a lot of Caribbean food, but yeah, and why I don't like it is because it has like more raisins in it, and it's got like, and I just don't like fruit in things. Like, keep fruit separate, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is very good. Wow. I'm just really more impressed by the smoothness of it more than anything. Like, as a beer on its own, say if it was like slightly more carbonated or this and that, it's good. It's good. It, like, at 7.4%, you're getting just as much flavor from like something that's, of imperial strength. Like, because I always say on this podcast, sometimes I just want, that's why I don't really go for porters or lighter stouts, because it's like I want that comfort, I want that blanket, I want that that heft, I want that flavor, all of it.
Need that body.
Whereas
to
this, this has the body, it has the flavor, it has that mouth coating quality to it. It has everything. It's really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll see what the other one's like, but I don't think anything will top the Nitro, because
just that
smoothness,
that extra level of smoothness.
Everything. Yeah, it just makes everything better. Just elevates everything.
And it's this. Is it the Nitro version just has a widget in the bottom of the can?
No.
Oh.
No widget.
Oh.
That's why it's so impressive, because it's like even like beers that would be like, yeah, this is the Nitro version of it. Sometimes they do it okay, but this is the best in my memory that I can recall, where it does give that like Nitro pour. I mean, the head is still around.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they do it. It's magic. It's
That's very good.
Wizardry.
But just can conditioned, like it just poured in and just can conditioned, like. Nice.
As I say, it's going to be gone in like. I might as well get a third beer, because this is before you even talk about yours, Ben. It'll be gone.
Well, let me start then with mine. It's the porter, as you were saying, Lucy. You stick away from some porters and stuff because of how maybe it doesn't quite give you the same mouthfeel that you're looking for, and you can very much see that this is very, very liquidy. It's not kind of viscous, at least from what I've poured. Again, same as the Panettone, the head disappeared really, really quickly. But it's kind of as you expect, I suppose, for a Baltic porter. A lot of the molasses on the nose. That's the big thing coming from this. Maybe again, it's just such an inviting. I don't know what it is about molasses. Like, I'm not a big fan of like licorice, and it edges so close to it, but it's so inviting as a flavour. That this nose is just sort of like, oh yeah, absolutely. It's slightly leathery. It's a little bit licoricey. It's just a kind of very familiar sort of smell that very much just says like, chug it, chug it, chug it. Actually, it's nice and surprisingly not that liquid. It's not too thinned down. It's not too watery at all. It's not viscous. It isn't even medium bodied, but it isn't lacking in its body to kind of pull away from anything. I think that's the first sort of thing that I think about with this. It's the body to it is decent and is good for, or at least better than expected from the way that it kind of pours into the glass and looks. Flavour wise though, there's a lot going on in this, an absolute ton going on in here, and you get a lot of the molasses straight off. As I said, it's a little bit kind of leathery to start, but the fruits, very difficult to tell you what those fruits are. It's some berries. It's maybe a little bit kind of blueberry, perhaps, that kind of sits really, really low. So the molasses is like here, and you're getting a bit of wood, you're getting a bit of leather, you're getting a little bit of that kind of almost edging on licorice kind of flavour. And then this fruit, this maybe like a bit of blueberry, maybe something else. Not sweet, like no kind of like really sweet fruit. But like the combination in this kind of makes me think it's almost a little bit kind of dark chocolate and raspberry. You know, if on the back of this it said it was a dark chocolate and raspberry beer, I'd be like, yeah, cool, I could absolutely see that. But this like combination, the molasses and maybe a little bit of blueberry, maybe it is a bit more edging towards something like raspberry. It's a lovely flavour, but I think it's going to be a very polarizing kind of flavour. I can very much see people supping this and going, no, that's not the flavour profile that I kind of like. And most people will read the flavour text on the back and go, yeah, molasses and dark fruits, maybe that isn't for me. But even then, I think if people have picked this up like, oh yeah, I like a Baltic Porter, absolutely. I think this is such a strong combination of flavours that it would very easily turn people off after a couple of sips. So we'll see what it's like as we move kind of through it. Like, I really like it. I really like this. It's a lovely set of flavours. And as the can says, crisp finish. I'm not quite getting the crispness. It's a very a finite finish, a very definitive kind of finish to it. You sip, and those flavours are there. They hit the back of the mouth, and then suddenly they're like gone, and you're left with this slightly cloying kind of after flavour from everything. Again, it's a little bit dry, maybe not quite as dry as the Panettone that I've just had, but and it's got enough of that kind of like dark chocolatey raspberry essence to it that sits right at the back of your mouth, like as far back as it possibly could, that I'm like, okay, I'm still getting flavour from this. It hasn't disappeared, but it's kind of like all of those lovely first flavours have gone. And then this is the finish that I'm getting from this beer, which isn't quite what I experienced at the start. And I would want to have that, but I'm not pulled necessarily straight away to have to go back to it. So it's one that I might nurse a little bit more than the Panettone, which is fine for like a 7% Baltic Porter. This definitely feels like an Arbor do their bigger beer sharing cans. This feels maybe just because of the strength of flavour, like it would be a very good sharing can to have between 2 or 3 people, and you have maybe a third of a pint kind of, and that's all you have from it, just because there's such strong flavour to this. I'm glad I don't have any more beers to drink this evening, because I think this would just destroy anything that kind of came next, just because of that strength of flavour. So yes, I will continue drinking and report back later on. I know I said Aadil will come to you in about 15 minutes time, and it's roughly been that. But are you still supping away? Yeah, perfect. Okay, we will see how we're doing in a few more minutes. But what other games do people want to talk about this evening?
I just I was reading about cypress wood, as it's got cypress wood in this beer, and it got me thinking of Cypress Hill. Is it just me, or do all of their songs sound the same?
The bit I just did, yeah, absolutely, that's the same for every single song.
I like their songs, but they all have
the
same beat and cadence.
I mean, sure, yes, they all have very similar cadence.
Yeah,
but like, Skull and Bones is a fucking good album. Like, it's kind of like, I think it's because I was very much into metal at the time that I started listening to hip hop and rap and stuff.
Yeah.
Skull and Bones came out at that, like, the exact right time that they kind of like crossed the streams almost. They're like, yes, we're a hip hop group, but we're gonna start throwing a little bit of a rock edge into kind of what we're doing a little bit more. Like, I think that was helped by, I want to say, like Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX soundtrack as well, which I think had a Cypress Hill song on it. Or did one of the Tony Hawk games have a Cypress Hill song on?
I think so. Surely.
So yeah, like it's that point in time where those games are coming out, and I'm like massively influenced. I'm like, cool. Who's Pennywise? I've heard one of their songs on like this BMX game, and they're just like, oh, good. I just listen to Pennywise now. Amazing. Yeah, I was very much like that with Cypress Hill, but I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, they all sound the same. I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah. Anyway, games. Let's talk about Tony Hawk and BMX.
Yeah, go for it. I was going to just mention a game I discovered via the Steam sale that I had never heard of. It's it came out in March this year, March 31st. It's developed and published by legendary company Sega.
Okay.
Is this
and it's called
Who Killed Sonic or something?
The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes,
How did I miss
yes.
this?
It's free.
It's free. Yeah, I'm putting on the Steam Deck. I'm gonna go to sleep playing to this nonsense game.
I think
I've
this
been meaning
was
to get to it, but
this was one of those. It came out like at the end of March or the beginning of April, right? And everyone was like, "Oh, this is clearly Sega's like April Fool's joke sort of thing." But, and then it's actually like, "Oh no, it's an actual experience." Like,
yeah,
apparently it's good. Apparently,
I mean, it's
But
overwhelmingly
that's probably
positive.
the Sega freaks. Where you can never trust Sonic fans to be rational and measured in their reviews. Come on, there.
I mean, any Sega, really.
yeah, minus 10 out of 10. No pregnant Sonic.
I mean, you don't know that.
That's true. I don't. You're right.
Have you played it?
No, I haven't. Considering it's a free game as well, which had a little bit of hype around in the springtime.
I don't know. I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're busy teaching. But yes, definitely one I think to get some thoughts on next week, perhaps, if you have the
yeah,
time.
that's literally the only thing. I was like, oh, I bought a couple games on the various sales, knowing that they can be played. I'm hoping, on my. I don't know how long I'll be going back to Canada for, because I could squeeze it like almost a whole month, but I think that'll probably be not
Plenty
enough
of gaming
home.
time.
But yeah, I mean, the thing I'm saying with my parents is they're old and they sleep a lot or watch TV. I can play a game instead while they do that. I also need to go home because have I told you guys this thing about Durham paying a moving allowance?
No.
Which means like the last few vestiges of my shit that I ended up moving from my house, my parents' old place when I helped them move in 2022 January.
Yep.
I've been like slowly trying to figure out, I don't know what to do with this, including my really nice speakers that wouldn't make sense for me to pay to ship, except if Durham's paying over $5,000 in moving expenses.
Oh
Wow.
And it doesn't matter that I
everything.
worked here for a year in a temporary contract, and I've lived in the UK for 10 years and moved all my shit. This also means I might move Daisy, my very stupid car.
Move everything.
Wait, and your car is the correct hand drive for over here, right?
Nope.
Oh, no, it's
it's
not.
even dumber.
It's manual.
The dumbest thing to do.
It's manual.
Move your parents over.
It was made in the 50s. There wasn't an automatic.
Move your
It's a
parents.
1958 MGA. It built for the North American market, so
Right.
it tiny, low-powered, prone to breaking down because it's British made, and it is left-hand drive. But
Move like drugs over. Move everything. Just like whatever
have-
you can fit in a container. That
Mate, I'll have one of
covers
every Canadian
$5,000.
beer, please.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Yes.
I could actually
Yes.
pack a box of beers. I didn't even think about it. This is what I mean. I mean, the carbon footprint is awful. Was the big But like, if they're gonna pay $5,000, like a car for $5,000, and like a few
How
boxes.
much is it for a shipping container? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just put the car in and
Just
fill
full
it
of
with beer
maple syrup.
and bacon. Just
Not
done.
even,
That's all we've
not
got.
even bottled.
Yeah.
It'll just slosh out of it.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
that might
That's
happen. But that
cool.
means one of the reasons I would go for a bit longer is to actually like figure out what shit to move
Mm-hmm.
and like put it in. This stuff was packed. Some of this stuff was packed to get from house A to house B versus to like not get destroyed in international.
International, yes, yeah.
But also, if I'd known that, then in 2022, I threw out or donated a whole shit ton of my stuff that I was like, I'm never gonna be able to move it over. But,
Well, Mary Kondo would be proud.
But at least car, speakers, those big items that you've
103-inch
been.
projection screen. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowhere to put it,
Right.
but bring it all.
Very good.
Oh well, I just set up a home theater here.
Mm-hmm. Should I talk about a video game I briefly played?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, please.
Yeah. I know you played a demo of it, Ben. Jusant.
Oh.
Don't Nod.
Yes.
The climbing game.
Nice.
I'm very early on. I only just got to chapter 2.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying the relaxing nature of it. I think the only reason that I haven't got back to it is because it's so relaxing. I want to be in a relaxed state when I play it. It's just, but yeah, it's a perfect morning game just to like knock out a few miniature climbs. Yeah, I really like the aesthetic of it. It's so colourful. It's chilled. It's only like, I don't even know if there's any music in it. It's just like ambient sounds of like, craggy like alcoves in
just
along the seafront.
like water trickling and birds and shit. Yeah.
It's so good.
I have it as well. I haven't started it yet, but yeah.
Okay. Hopefully before the end of the year we'll both have finished it. I don't know how long it is. It's probably
I don't think it's long. I think it's really short, actually. I think it's only like 4 or 5 hours long.
Oh, brilliant! Because I could potentially see like it's literally. Oh, it's 4 hours. Okay. I could potentially see like if the climbing truly is like the only mechanic. Like at the start of chapter 2, it's like, oh, there's something else that you can summon to grow, and then you can climb that. So it's like it seems like there's a few more wrinkles to the gameplay, but if it is just literally just climbing, then yeah, I can see how that wouldn't translate as a great experience across multiple hours. But yeah, if it's 4 hours, even better. Yeah, I'll keep playing it. It's climbing. It's rock climbing. Something I'll probably never do in real life. I think I did it once as a kid or whatever. Oh yeah. You'd love it then. Oh yeah. Yeah. You
I think it's when we were talking about the demo, I think I was very impressed with the climbing mechanic itself.
Yes.
How are you finding that?
Yeah, it isn't just like press button and Nathan Drake climbs on yellow thing. There's more freestyling in the fact that there's probably a bit more handholds there. You can attach your, is it carbiner? Is that how you pronounce it? The thingy, all the rock climbing people know.
Carabiner.
Carabiner. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Rock Climber. Yes. You can attach that to. I think you've got 2 of them along with your like starting one, and so it's like you can attach those to anywhere, and then you sort of have that like where you can swing.
Yes.
And then explore a bit more. Yeah.
Definitely not recommended on.
And rappel up and down, so it's like sometimes I'm exploring where there's no need to, and it's like the geometry of the game is. I think that could be communicated a bit better.
Okay.
Like, okay, there's nothing here, because of the way the environment is. It's sort of trying to be very detailed, so you think, oh, is there something down there? It's like, no, the game is that you can't go there. I think that could be better communicated. Maybe it's just me being a bit too overambitious, thinking, oh, there are more things to find than there actually is, because there's collectibles like notes and like seashells that you hold up to your ear, and they're basically very Life is Strange in that way, where it's like in Life is Strange you could just like sit on a bench or something, or sit on a log, take a moment, and the character would give like an inner monologue, and it would just like the camera would like pan to the environment and stuff like that, just showing all like environmental storytelling. So it's got that in it, which is really nice way of storytelling, and shows that Don't Nod, still got that DNA in them, and it's like they've had some really good ideas over the years. But yeah, it's very calming. It's very enjoyable. I'm gonna reach the top of this rock or wherever I'm going eventually, and yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying. Yeah, the mechanics are good. It feels true to life rock climbing, but in a very video gamey way.
Yeah.
But without any like, oh, I'm gonna fall to my death stakes.
Yeah.
I haven't fallen yet, but I'm sure if you do, it's just like I'm sure it's just gonna respawn you.
Well,
the art in it is like, and the enjoyment is just the actual mechanics. It feels very tactile. It doesn't feel like there's much puzzle solving at the moment, but just the way the controls in the game feels is what's satisfying.
Yeah, I very much got that from the demo as well. Even the idea that you are climbing a rock face, but then a cargo net has been hung for some reason somewhere, and that movement between different materials, you're climbing, and the character's climbing changes because you are on a different surface. You've been kind of finding your holds on this kind of rock face, and then suddenly you've got a net in front of you. You're like, oh cool, I can kind of like scrabble across this net instead. And I think it feels very, at least the demo, and as you're sort of saying to the main game, feels very tactile in the way that it approaches the surfaces that you are moving across. Very much. I think I found with the demo that it did also seem to open up, not necessarily like quick paths, but you'd kind of get to the top of something, you'd open up a you'd be like, oh, what's this little path over here? Oh cool, it's let a rope down, and down the rope is a collectible, but actually if I loop back around, that was in one of the rooms that was on the lower level that I walked around and found nothing on, but now I found the collectible, I'm here, so actually I can just jump on the rope and go back up to that point. So actually
that, Dark Souls kind of thing, like dropping down the ladder where you...
Yes, yeah, it does have a little bit of that open exploration kind of thing. So, and again, if you haven't sort of died yet, it'd be interesting to see what that fail state is and where you're kind of reset sort of back to. Because a lot of the time, you're putting your kind of like pointing to be able to have a line off of. So you've set your kind of spike into the wall, and then it's kind of like, oh, I've fallen, but I just swing on my rope connected to the spike, and I can just grab the nearest handhold again and start again almost. It's whether there is, what is that hard fail state to it. So, interesting.
Yeah, it seems very forgiving. It seems like it's much more into the... Just have a nice, calming experience over than, like, difficulty. But I am very much at the start of the game. I don't know if it does introduce difficulty later, but it has that the challenge is, okay, where do I go next? It isn't like bright yellow in a lot of games, so it is just like finding where I need to go and looking around your environment. So that's a bit more of the puzzle solving elements to it. But yeah, and that's why sometimes I'm just like, can I go here? Can I go there? Is a collectible down there? It's like, no, because everything's like built into the environment so well, and it doesn't give you those obvious markers, that obvious yellow, and that's why it's like, you're looking a bit more, and therefore you're considering if all these different nooks and crannies have somewhere to climb and explore, and they don't always. But that's a good trade-off for not being so overt in like being handholdy and showing you where the next place is to go.
Sure.
I'd rather it be like, oh, I absolutely went down a blind alley for no reason than, you know, having everything spoon-fed to me.
Sure. Yeah, nice. More chat, I would assume, about Jusant in the coming weeks then, as well. Aadil, you've got a beer, a Deya beer, I see.
Deya beer.
Nice.
It's Deya's Saturated In series, and it's the Saturated In Simcoe, a single hop Simcoe DIPA. It is half a liter at 8%.
No, because my beer shop that I go to, because they have Deya, and I saw like Steady Rolling Man, and it was just Strata, and I was like, oh, okay, so, well, I won't pick it up. I think I've had plenty Steady Rolling Man. Okay, maybe with a different hop or whatever. And I just like didn't think of anything, but then I realized that it was a double IPA, so I went and picked that up today.
Yeah.
So that was maybe going to be one of the beers that I was thinking, oh, I should drink it on there. But I've been waiting to drink this track for over a week. So yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that there's more double IPAs.
Yeah.
They don't usually do doubles. So
which is and so an 8% all Simcoe all the time. And it poured with basically no head.
Oh wow.
Where'd that head go? Where'd it go?
It's nowhere.
Let us know. Let's launch straight into it.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see how this.
What does it smell like?
Obviously, a higher percentage beer than the previous beer that you've had, but potentially a lighter beer. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So it's got some slightly earthy soil, like earthy note on the nose, with maybe a bit of tropical passion fruit. Quite light though in the nose.
Yeah.
Although I do have smoke on my palate, so maybe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you drank them this way around.
Well, I wasn't sure I was going to have the second beer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
And I wanted to have the smoked beer for the episode. Ooh. Friends. This is a very good beer.
Oh.
Even with a palate saturated with other things. A bit more of the it's quite sweet. It's like citrusy. So you're getting more like Christmas orange almost, like a tangerine or a mandarin, probably. The earthiness is more in the nose than in the taste, but you're also getting this lovely in the back end of the taste. Stone fruit, like not peach, but like apricot, maybe just a little bit. Sorry, I'm thrown off by like this is a beer you can tell the ABV just because there's a sweet spike which just has it's not blending well with the other flavors, so it feels very much like oh yes, this is a strong beer that is a bit it's the sickly sweet profile, but it isn't super sickly sweet, if that makes sense. It's just because I don't think it's blending with the other tastes, and that might just be because of what's on my palate right now. That feels a little strange for me for Deya. They're usually quite good at balancing the flavors together. Super refreshing, not too in your face. This is a DIPA you would like easily have one and then be if it continues to be like this, be like, I could probably have another. It's got this light sort of, the whole taste profile is kind of light. Like I said, it's this like small citrus. Any of the earthy, dankier tones that are in the nose are quite far back, if at all, in the taste, and it's got this little stone fruit backbone. Really eminently drinkable is what I will say.
Yeah.
Which is good for your second beer of the night at 8%.
Yes. Very much, very much. To overcome those early flavors as well.
So this I'm super
strong.
curious by the end of this how much when my palate is mostly this again, or mostly this versus the open still lingering, what it'll be like. I forgot I did have a game to talk about.
Ooh.
Oh my god! Stop the presses.
Ooh.
It's
Play the game.
Let's go.
It's on the New York Times website.
Oh,
Okay.
is it connected?
Have you played Connections?
Yeah. Oh, this is old news, mate. Anyway,
just found
wrapping
out
up the
about it.
podcast. Oh, bless you. It's only Connect. There was actually a bit of scuttlebutt when this first got announced because, as a New York Times puzzles subscriber, I'll clarify, it's a separate subscription for the newspaper.
Really?
Yeah, they put. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I have no
I
reason
did
to
this.
read the newspaper.
I mean, sure.
Like,
I knew about this because I knew about her New York Times crosswording.
Right.
Yeah. I should talk about Puzzmo to you lot.
Bless you.
Puzzmo. It's Zach Gage. Mobile. A lot of mobile games like Really Bad Chess, Spell Tower, Type Shift. Go to Puzzmo.com. It's basically the New York Times crossword, like, kind of interface. Well, not interface, but it's like it's got several puzzles on there. It's got like Really Bad Chess and crossword and everything like that, and they've got daily ones. I can send one of you a invite key, but otherwise you have to. I think it's like this 500 slots a day or something. There's a lot. So it's very easy to get in and access it. You can pay like £40 a year or whatever it is to get extra puzzles, but I'm just on like the free basic tier. And it's just like a little, like, on my startup on Google Chrome. It's literally New York Times crossword dashboard where you got all the puzzles and Puzzmo. So yeah. But yeah, Connections was, I think it was in beta. Like, there was another game that was in beta, and they asked. But yeah, they push things in beta and try it out, and then this one has stuck. So it's been around for probably about 3-4 months.
Okay. Aadil, why is it stuck for you?
Okay, so the point is you get 16 words, and they will be grouped together in 4 groups of 4. And so you have to figure out what they are. But obviously there's like, actually, let me grab, I will just tell you.
I need an example of these words to know what the connections.
Like some will be like, all of these words follow like another word, like say time, and then some will be time saver or time share, time
peace.
Yesterday's one was like words that had the names of birds embedded in them.
Some will be like, these are all countries. Sometimes it's very obvious. Sometimes they do like little play on things, like each 4 words is like the name of a song title or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's based on. And there was like a tweet from the woman who hosts Only Connect, which is a BBC show. And there was like a thing about like, y'all just took this straight from the BBC, and then New York Times was like dead quiet on it.
Oh, really?
Which is like, you know what? This may have been someone's ingenious creation, because especially, we get a lot of American culture imported into us. The inverse is not the same. So it's like, somebody probably just thought this up, but yeah, it's like, and it remained it came out of beta, and it's like, it's now a mainstay, because there was a thought, it was like, are they going to pull this because you know, it
So-
conflicts so much with that BBC game.
You get 4 chances to screw up, and then it outputs one of those like Wordle style things where each of the 4, when you get something correct, it makes a yellow line. There's like it makes the 4 bands have 4 colors, and then you will get an output that one of them doesn't work. But while you're doing the game, you have no idea what your progress is. It just says mistake. At the end, it shows, oh, you got 3 of the 4 in this. You got 1 category, then you got 3 of the 4 in that category. Then you figured it out, whatever.
It will tell you like the Overdin thing where it's like 1 away, as in you
Yes.
got like 3 out of 4
Nice.
correct. But
like,
there's so many. There's like 4 different, I guess, or more than that, like different combinations that you could do. So it's telling you that you got 1 away still means there's several different permutations of what it could be. Yeah.
If you look in chat, I've just taken a screenshot of today's, and so it's curry, bouquet, turkey, turnover, pie, bird, Poland, parfait, rapport, Jordan, tart, Tunisia, James, Japan, ragu, pasty. Presumably, there's going to be one about food. There's going to be one about countries, but of course, is Turkey one or the other?
Actually, but that's what's so good about it, because the 2 things that you said is the 2 things that I thought, and neither are true.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just look at them because, the thing is, you have to look for 4. So what I like about it is the categories are not as straightforward.
No.
And so it's a nice. I mean, my brain likes categorizing things. I like conceptual analysis. It's like looking for the 4 core concepts that perfectly make 4 disjoint sets, right?
Yeah.
And
well, that's the whole thing of it. Is like, yes, there's the straightforward thing, and then sometimes it is a straightforward thing, and then a lot of the time it is like, oh no, that thing, I didn't see that thing, and then it's like, oh yeah, of course that thing. So
yes,
yeah.
So like one of them yesterday, I think, was that they had bird types.
I
of
hate those
bird.
ones.
Sorry?
Birds.
I hate those ones. The ones that I hate is where it's like, oh, you put an extra letter on the thing, or it's a thing like the timepiece, timeshare, and I hate those. Those are always the last ones I get.
Well, what I like about it is, for the one before that, it was things that suck, and it was vacuum, vampire, straw, and something. And I didn't know what the theme was, but because I got all the other ones, I'm like, well, these are the ones left over. And then when I click them, they're like, this is the theme. I'm like, thanks, game. I had no idea.
But those I get. The more abstract ones I get. The ones where it's like, oh, this other word goes in front of this word. I don't like it. Those are always the last ones to get for me. So yeah.
But yeah, it's it's very satisfying and quick, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like, oh gosh, I have to think about this. Open up an incognito browser and try that.
Cheating at the game.
I don't cheat at Wordle. I'm happy to get Wordle wrong. Connections is something else in me where it's like, I refuse to get this wrong. I've only had to do it like twice or something.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
I've managed to. So for today's having a quick go, I've done I've got the first 2 sets, and both times I had your 1 away. So
you've made 2 mistakes.
Sorry,
you've made 2 mistakes.
So I've made 2 mistakes, and I have 2 mistakes remaining, with 8
left
options and 2 categories to make.
Yeah. Today was a trickier one.
I was going to say, looking at it,
very difficult. Very difficult. The first 2 I have are, not to because no one is going to be listening to this. Aadil, you've already played it, so the first one I got is foods with crusts and countries with red and white flags, basically. So I've got a lot left, which are things like James, bird, bouquet, parfait, curry, ragu, rapport, and Jordan. And very difficult to find a link between those things.
I found that it was the second one that I found the hardest.
Right.
Which was the countries one, which was the one that I found. I was like, ooh. And then everything fell into place. I was like,
really? Okay.
Yeah. But it's whether you see it, whether you know it, and it's like, because I was like, oh, these are basketball players. I saw it immediately. Yeah. It's like-
Oh, fucking of course. Jesus. Yes, all right.
And it
good.
was
Yeah,
the
funny.
yeah, and then it was the ragu parfait and all that.
Yeah.
Last, yeah.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Because it was like, oh, these are all foods, and I thought, yes, with the curry, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a food. So,
Yeah, but that's what
so
I was
yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
I was thinking
Mhm.
curry. I was thinking bouquet, strong smells. Is it something to do with smell? Nothing else
Parfait,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
parfait, sure, but then there's not a fourth thing that kind of fits with that. Like this is interesting. It's an interesting kind of interesting game.
You-
Absolutely
you're
for
both-
for a
you're
little
both-
free puzzle.
Welcome to my world. And then you'll before you know it, you'll be doing Wordle, spelling bee, and then you'll become a subscriber to the New York
Oh.
Times crossword, and then
No, because I stopped doing Wordle after a while.
Yeah.
The last one I got before the basketball one.
I just like beating the Wordle bot. That's what
Wordle
gives
bot.
me enjoyment out of Wordle.
Mm.
The algorithm, the Wordle bot. If I beat the robot, which really doesn't matter because it's a robot and meant to get it in the most efficient way, I have a little bit of smug satisfaction. And I beat the.
What the heck is the Wordle bot?
When you finish Wordle, you can
Yeah.
say you can do. It gives you like basically a mathematical breakdown of each choice,
This is
and there's
new.
the
It didn't used to
Wordle
be,
bot.
right?
No, I think it came in probably. Well, it was after the New York Times acquisition. Not long after that, to be fair. But yeah, if I beat the Wordle bot, that's my satisfaction.
Understandable.
Yeah, I've beaten the Wordle bot like 3 times in a row. I get really angry when I lose because even though it's like this is a mathematical algorithm, of course it's gonna beat you, Lucy. But it's like on the times that it doesn't, I'm like, I beat you.
Yeah.
It's like beating a computer at chess.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've beaten a computer at a puzzle game. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to finish us there for this week because
Yeah.
I've really got to wee. We'll return to beers. The one thing that's kind of hovered over me, and before I started the Invincible, or started talking about the Invincible, was this big fucking boy.
Oh my god.
Look at the size of the box.
I
It's
know.
like a fucking
How
child.
big
It's
is
so
that?
fucking big. It's massive. It's here, ready to go in the loft. I'll talk about that.
It might bring down the loft.
Absolutely. I'm expecting. I need to
Hold on, you
strengthen.
kid
I need to
bed,
strengthen
yeah.
it in place. Put it on where I've got some double joists, just to be able to take the weight just of the box. And even the cardboard. It's not even like polystyrene in there. It's cardboard that sits around the machine. So yeah, it's just weighty and big.
I'm glad you
I'll
got
talk
one.
about that next
That's
week.
good.
Yes. I've spent some time playing. Waking up early mornings with the kids and stuff, and going down. And I will just mention I've mostly been playing Ratchet and Clank. Very child friendly, really good. I know we talked about the PS4 Ratchet and Clank game kind of at length, years ago now, which was good. This is just more of the same. It's just really good platforming. It's such a good experience. But we'll talk more about that next week.
Something like very good.
Yes. Let's return to beers because we've got a little bit of time to spend, perhaps, because we've done a 6-beer episode.
Yeah.
Lucy, I'll come to you first. We
You
won't
can go
launch
pee
in.
if you want or something.
No, it's okay. I think I've got 5 minutes. Got 5-10 minutes in me.
Okay.
We won't launch into episodes gone past of which was your favourite, but just describe the beers for us and what you enjoyed.
The track one is very much a someone who's been around for 9 years and at the top of their game. Just a very good dipper. Really fruity, but still well balanced in having that big body, nice bit of pininess, slight bit of bitterness. I'm gonna say this is my favorite, the Nitro Caribbean Chocolate Cake, because like it's such a, I don't even know how they do it. It's wizardry how you get a beer that smooth. I mean, it says nitro on the can, and there's so many beers that I've had where it's like, oh, nitro, but it's just like, no, this just tastes like any other beer. But this is, yeah, it's so smooth. And I mean, it's a recipe that they've been perfecting over several years, as we said. So it's like they've got the base there, so that foundation's very good already. But just add the nitro on top, it just makes everything even better. So yeah, £5 well spent.
Nice, good. I'll jump in just to give Aadil you 5 more minutes with, or 2 more minutes with the beer that you're currently drinking. Both beers from Arbor for me this evening. I haven't finished the Porter Express. I drank that a lot slower than I did the Panettone. The Panettone went down very, very quickly. And I think a lot of that came down to the dryness of it on the end and that kind of finish, that raisin finish, wanting me to be like, this is kind of a bit sweet as a finish. I need a little bit more of this. Whereas the Porter Express, that kind of more leathery molasses kind of flavor to it doesn't draw you instantly to want to go back to it. So the finish for that was more kind of maybe a little bit bitter, maybe a little bit smoked, but kind of maybe some more sweet sort of fruit, maybe a bit of raspberry, bit of blueberry perhaps in there. And I think the finish on the Porter Express is much more satisfying than it is on the Panettone. And I think I would edge it just towards the Porter Express, although I think I could drink the Panettone all night. But I'm probably okay with just one Porter Express, not having another one after this, because it is such a strong set of flavours that it's very, very overpowering. And I think I would be like, cool, I would just go to like a lemonade after this. I'd go for a gin after this, probably. Something like that instead. I probably wouldn't even have a beer after this. I'd just go for a gin and lemonade or something like that instead. So whilst I would probably give it to the Porter Express as the better beer, as an experience, the Panettone was just a kind of a nicer beer to drink through, I guess. And I probably will nurse the Porter Express for the next half an hour or so before I go to bed, kind of thing. So yeah, both good beers for completely different reasons. For me this evening. Aadil, how about you?
Like them both.
Good.
They're very different beers, so like I think it's not a thing I can be like this one over the other one, because one's a dark, smoky, classically German but very interestingly regional thing, and the smokiness is definitely a thing. If you're at all interested in seek this out, it's very neat. And the other one is Deya doing Deya stuff. It's a great DIPA. It's I definitely still taste that 8% on it, and which is kind of refreshing because I feel like the last few sort of larger, bigger, especially IPAs, they just don't taste like it in a way that can be dangerous. This is actually making me sip it a little slower because it feels bigger, because it has that sweetness that is clearly blent partly by the alcohol. I'll say the earthiness is slightly there, but really it's that with the smoke off my palate, the that like mandarin sweetness and the citrus is a lot. The sweetness and the citrus have melded a lot more, so it's even more mandarin-y than I had before. It still has long legs as far as a finish. It's just a really tasty beer, and if I was in the pub for an 8%, like half a liter of an 8%, I would just have enough withal to be like, yes, sure, I'll have another one of these. It's tasty, even though it's 8%. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
It invites you to have more. And so I would have another one, even though I didn't want another 8%.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, very much.
Both beers.
Good.
I've had a very good night beer-wise, and a pretty good night company-wise. No, I'm joking. A very good night company-wise.
Good. Good. I'm glad for the roundup on all of our beers. All of our beers have been good this evening. Yeah. It makes a massive difference
Yeah.
to needing the toilet. So I'm going to round up incredibly quickly and let us get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You can get us at TankTapCast on the socials. Go to outoflives.net. I'm at Nova_47. Aadil is.
At the Omniarch.
Lucy is.
Juicy Loose 9.
And you can get us on all of the places, everything. We're not going to extend this any longer than we need to.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. We've been Tanked Up. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
www.outoflives.net